Good morning, everybody. Today is a very, very cool day here, so let me talk to the students first. It is an honor. It's an honor for you to be here to receive this award. And I know you look around and you see a lot of other students, but if you don't know, there's almost 1,900 students in our school. So for you to get recognized is a huge honor. So parents, thank you for making today a special day. Parents and grandparents, we welcome you. We thank you for coming and all that you do. How many of you have been to a STEM award ceremony before? Parents. Okay, it should be fun. It should be entertaining. Boys and girls, let me talk to you. As in pre-K and kindergarten, it's going to be hard to sit there for a long time. So just be be on your best behavior, be very quiet, be very respectful. And I know what all of you are thinking. When do you get the donuts? We're going to get the donuts. See, I've seen some parents already grabbing some, but students, you're going to get some donuts. We promise. Okay, just be patient with us. Today's attribute, or what we're talking about today, is critical thinking. We're going to have Ms. Tuminelli come in just a few minutes and explain that to you, because some of you asked me, why did you get this award? And you're going to find out why your teacher and your classmates gave it to you. But before we begin, I want to recognize people that make all this happen, and you should know all these. So to my left, you have Ms. Randazzo. She's one of our guidance counselors. Ms. Addison is another guidance counselor. To my right is Ms. Bell, a middle school guidance counselor. And Ms. Wonderly is another guidance counselor. And I'm going to ask this time Ms. Tuminelli, one of our STEM coordinators, to come talk to you all about what critical thinking means and how important it is to be a critical thinker. Will you help me, Roy?
No. Good morning, parents, family, and friends. I'd like to welcome you here this morning as we celebrate our awesome TVK critically thinking students. When we think critically, it is a process in which we take in information and we organize it in a logical and very strategic manner, oftentimes using a skill of inquiry to ask more questions and gain a better understanding, and making connections to our content. In doing so, our students really keep our teachers on their toes and help their peers understand our content even better. So today, let's celebrate that, and our MC for the day is Ms. Marnie Wonderly.
All right, good morning. And the way that this flows is we start with our youngest to our oldest. We go by grade level, and we put pre-K and kindergarten together. So students, you're going to look to Ms. Randazzo. She helps you line up. Ms. Addison helps you get up on the ramp. You have a slip of paper that has your name on it. That really helps me to make sure that I read the right person walking across the stage. You can think of it as we're prepping you for high school graduation. Don't do the same thing there. So if you would, pre-K and kindergarten, start coming up with Ms. Randazzo. And parents will pause. Yes, please stay in order. That helps us. And parents, after each grade level, I'll cue you to come up and be able to take pictures of the group. Sanaya is always eager to investigate and solve questions related to our classroom themes. She loves being a good friend and is always there to help others in need. Julia is a problem solver and a peacemaker. She uses her big voice when resolving conflicts and offers ideas for solutions. Way to go, Julia. And if we could hold applause too until the end of each grade level. Cheyenne asks questions and analyzes situations. She solves problems and makes connections in her learning. Sophia is a critical thinker. She consistently demonstrates inquiry and curiosity in class, and she has a desire to ensure that she and her peers remain well informed. Sophia's active listening skills are impressive, and she uses what others have to say to engage in stimulating conversation. Sharvika uses her skill in critical thinking to help guide her ideas within our classroom. She analyzes and observes things well. We're so happy to have her as a part of our class family. Harper has a sharp understanding of cause and effect. She thinks critically in all subject areas and can explain her reasoning very well when I call upon her. She is a great asset to our class. Ava uses her critical thinking skills every day in the classroom. She is constantly exploring every possible answer, digging deeper, and justifying her thinking. Kendra is constantly analyzing her surroundings and making excellent observations. She thinks deeply about her work and what best way to solve problems. She truly is a master critical thinker. Safwick displays critical thinking on a daily basis. He often comes up with questions and finds new ways to solve problems. He then is able to collaborate with peers to explain his thinking. So proud of you for being a great role model. Hayden is always thinking hard to reach answers and solutions. Hayden will also recall previous learning and link it to new learning. Way to go, Hayden. Nivedita can be found critically thinking throughout her day in kindergarten. When reading stories, she is predicting, inferring, and forming her own opinions throughout the text. She is also happy to share her thinking with friends and turn it into great discussion. Penelope shows critical thinking in all subjects. She communicates effectively with others in figuring out solutions to complex problems. She is an open-minded and considers alternative ways at looking at solutions. Way to go, Penelope. Macy is a critical thinker all day long. She asks lots of questions and applies her learning to gain a deeper understanding of the world around her. And these are our pre-K and kindergarten critical thinkers. First grade, please look to Ms. Randazzo for instructions. And pre-K, kindergarten, family, and friends, you can come closer to take a good picture. To first grade. Malia is going to start us off. Malia is always thinking outside the box and questioning learning. Ms. Campbell knows that she can do anything she wants if she puts her mind to it. Leo is always thinking further and exploring the questions. He uses accountable talk to help classmates further their thinking. We're so proud of you, Leo. Lucas loves to think outside the box. He reads more nonfiction than fiction. These interests increase his knowledge to be smarter than a first grader. As a result, he is able to explain his thinking with critical thoughts and information. Sozan is able to be a critical thinker in any situation. She does well thinking independently and answering difficult questions. Nicholas uses critical thinking skills to solve any problem. He asks questions that make us all think deeper and help us to understand that we are learning. Abby is able to offer multiple ways to solve problems. She shows higher order thinking skills when communicating with her classmates and sharing her innovative ideas. Mufadal is able to reflect on his learning and make connections with how this new information relates to our unit of study. We all love to hear his thoughtful ideas, and because of him, we all benefit with the gift of new discoveries. Christian is an exceptional student at PE. He is a natural leader who other students look to for guidance. He has a unique ability to think critically about the best way to accomplish any task before him. Kaya's responses to math problems and text she has read constantly exhibit her critical thinking skills. She observes, reflects, and reasons. She is a strong real-world problem solver because of her critical thinking skills. Sanvi is a hard worker and always sees more than one way to solve or answer the questions. She encourages others and will help them to solve the problems as well. Way to go. These are our first grade critical thinkers. Okay, second grade, look to Miss Randazzo. She's going to direct you, and parents of our first graders, feel free to come closer for a picture. Rohan is going to start us off with second grade. Rohan is always open to different ideas from other people when working in groups. He is always thinking of the best way to solve the problem at hand. Kiara is a great tiger. She is willing to share an answer and help others find their answers. When she's working in a group, she often presents another way of looking at a problem to help everyone accomplish the task. David is always looking for new ways to express himself musically. He searches for the reasoning behind why we are studying certain concepts in music class, and he shares his thinking with his classmates. Abby is our critical thinking STEM student because she takes her time to think before problem solving. We are so proud of her. Caden is always thinking deeply and critically about his answers to questions. When he's working in a group, he leads his fellow students in discussion. He is a great problem solver. Caritza always has a clear mind when she is participating with classmates or working on her own ideas. They are well thought out and show that she is evaluating all information that she has gathered. George was chosen by his classmates because he is so smart. He always comes up with great ideas. Way to go, George. Kristen's critical thinking skills have become more and more evident as we progress through our STEM unit. She is constantly making connections between what we are learning to other areas of content and the outside world. This way of thinking is a great strength and will undoubtedly promote more meaningful learning in the future. Brianna is a critical thinker. She analyzes things very carefully before making decisions, answering questions, or completing tasks. Aditya works hard at determining problems and their solutions. He often uses his background knowledge and experiences to help him solve problems. Recently, during our Inventors Workshop, he created a product that controls the amount of materials that can be poured into a container. Joel is an example to his classmates in his ability to ask questions and seek out information. He has used these skills when he has researched animals and important historical figures in order to satisfy his curiosity. Our class chose Ariana as the STEM Student of the Month because she uses her critical thinking skills throughout the whole day. She is able to justify her thinking, ask questions, and investigate to find unknown information. Trevor is actively and skillfully evaluating problems and situations. He is able to analyze problems and communicate his thinking to his friends. He enjoys working on problems that are difficult and require higher thinking. Najee has very strong critical thinking skills. He is always thinking of new ways to solve problems in the classroom. This is very evident during our design challenges. He enjoys solving problems and explaining his thinking to his classmates. And these are our second grade critical thinkers. Third grade, look to Ms. Randazzo for instructions. And second grade friends and family, please feel free to come closer to get a picture.
I don't know. I have no, I don't know.
All right, to start us off with third grade, we have Sharon. Sharon has shown so much progress in sharing his ideas and thinking with the class. He thinks outside the box, and we are very proud. Rama is a very curious student who is constantly looking for answers aside from the obvious. She does a great job of listening to others before she makes decisions to solve a problem. Simon has excellent critical thinking skills. He is always able to look beyond what the question is asking and give more information from his own prior knowledge. Caden is a wonderful example of a critical thinker. His answers reflect the understanding he has, and he always goes above and beyond with his thoughts. He is a pro at making connections and making inferences. Tyler is a highly proficient critical thinker. He is able to reason through difficult problems during math class with very little support and is able to help others understand his thought process through excellent communication. He demonstrates strong critical thinking and science skills through engineering design challenges and completing STEM fair projects. Jason deserves our STEM Student of the Month award for critical thinking because I can always count on him to solve an issue in a fair-minded way. He is self-guided when contemplating different strategies to challenge himself throughout our sports units. Jason is a wonderful team player and always comes to PE with a positive attitude. David is a great critical thinker. He always likes to provide a reason behind his well-thought-out thinking. He loves to explain his thinking. Way to go for being our STEM Student of the Month. Jeremiah always puts his best effort into the way he thinks in the classroom. He excels in class, and we are happy he is here with us. Michael is a great critical thinker. He goes above and beyond when solving problems. Keep up the good work. Keyshawn is always thinking. He asks questions during daily geo and always digs deeper during science investigations. Jade does a great job thinking through a problem or a piece of complicated text. Good job, Jade. Nora looks at things from several different perspectives. She then thinks about what is the best course of action to take. And these are our third grade critical thinkers. Fourth grade, look to Ms. Randazzo, and third grade family and friends, feel free to come take a picture.
Great. Here comes fourth grade.
Samuel is our STEM Star of the Month because of the logical way he looks at problems. His answers are always well thought out and accurate. We think he's awesome. Xavier is an inquisitive student who uses critical thinking on a daily basis. He is able to skillfully analyze information to improve his understanding. Siraj is a student who displays critical thinking in all subject areas. He raises important and thought-out questions throughout the day. Raul is always investigating and asking new questions that challenge his classmates to critical thinking. Dejiana evaluates information and applies skills accordingly. She analyzes information to help her understand complex problems. When it comes to critical thinking, Linnea is a perfect example. She is consistently solving math problems with ease and coming up with multiple strategies to solve the given problem. She also has transitioned into a leadership role in our class and is an excellent peer tutor. Hannah displays the art of critical thinking on an everyday basis. She utilizes these skills in her educational classes, from interpreting remainders to making inferences with reading. She extends her use of critical thinking by helping peers problem solve and is a natural leader in class. The definition of an outside-of-the-box thinker. Jake is always solving problems and showing us alternative ways to think. Gloria has great critical thinking skills. She offers many deeper level concepts and points of view to our class in our discussions. And these are our 4th grade critical thinkers. 5th grade, please look to Ms. Randazzo for instruction. And 4th grade family and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture. Okay, we're going to start with 5th grade. Boys and girls, listen carefully. Sammy is our critical thinker. He thinks deeply about questions and elaborates on his answers and often encourages us to do the same. He has fresh and inspiring ideas, always above and beyond what is required. Janaya is a great thinker. She works hard to figure out problems and uses all of her strategies. Keep it up. Maxwell uses critical thinking during any subject, especially science. He always asks me, well, if that happens, then how come this? Some of his answers to my reading response questions are incredible. Christina is always thinking critically throughout the subject areas of math and reading. Way to go, Christina. Christian is always willing to try new activities. He is a fair-minded student who communicates effectively with his peers. Shivanshi's classmates believe he exemplifies critical thinking because of his ability to think outside the box, explain topics to his classmates, and share his math strategies with the group. His teachers have also observed that he makes great connections between his background knowledge and current class topics. Sandy is a student who came to our school last year from China. She is always thinking critically in order to translate words she hears and reads in English. Critical thinking is also important for Sandy when she is writing, as the English alphabet is very different from the Chinese alphabet. Sandy also helps other Chinese students with translating. She is an incredible critical thinker who is learning her second language at a very impressive rate. Patrick demonstrates critical thinking by making connections between concepts and strategies in multiple subject areas. He's an excellent problem solver using multiple strategies to answer a problem. Not only that, he also can listen to other strategies and make connections between the presented strategy and his own. Kane is a deep thinker who always analyzes and reflects on what he learns, and when he shares his thoughts with the class, he often blows us away with his thinking. Thank you for enriching our classroom community. And these are our 5th grade critical thinkers. Fifth grade parents, go ahead and come forward, and 6th grade look to Ms. Randazzo for direction. Okay, here come our 6th graders. To start us off, we have Alyssa. Alyssa always works hard to apply the new things she learns in class. Also, too, she is a helpful team player. Way to go, Alyssa. Alicia has a true analytical mind. She just asked today, if the life isn't fair for everyone, then wouldn't the overall level of fairness decrease? In fact, making life fair for all? Mind blow. I had to think about that one. Alicia is the total STEM package. Creative, she is an amazing artist. Collaborative, she works with others without reservation, and obviously excels at critical thinking and communicating. Gisella's first day in my class, we have been able to count on her to be on task and to ask thoughtful questions. She's always communicating effectively with members of her group and figuring out solutions to complex problems. She is a joy to have in class. Max is always quietly analyzing problems to come up with a solution. He thinks things through and presents alternative solutions to problems. Emma continuously shares her critical thinking skills as she discusses our classroom text with an objective analysis. Nicholas works very hard every day in math class. He uses critical thinking skills on a daily basis when trying to solve difficult math problems. Keep up the good work. Megan is as quiet as a mouse when in class. The reason is because she's always taking the time to critically think through her questions and answers before responding. As a matter of fact, she is doing so well that she has 100% average in her language arts class. Luckily for us, Megan uses her knowledge to help guide other students when working in small groups. Shanice has a great attitude and a competitive spirit. She is always thinking and processing when in class. Jaylee's analyzes problems in order to solve multi-step problems. She also asks clarifying questions to help her figure out solutions, and she's able to identify patterns to help her solve similar problems. Tracy is able to skillfully analyze content and ideas by observing, reflecting, and reasoning. She demonstrates critical thinking skills beyond her age. Kaylin uses critical thinking daily to question and comprehend subject matter. She takes learning to the next level by challenging us all to think outside the box. In my advanced math class, Janet is always thinking ahead, looking for alternate ways to solve problems. She can always be counted on to assist other students in the class that need additional help. And these are our 6th grade critical thinkers. 7th grade, look to Ms. Randazzo for directions, and 6th grade parents and friends, family, feel free to come closer for a picture.
Guys, come back into your row.
All right, let's get to 7th grade. We have Alejandra starting us off. Alejandra always uses her critical thinking skills in piano class. She always asks important questions to further her education as a musician. She is hardworking and dedicated to her piano studies. Joshua exhibits critical thinking skills on a daily basis. He is a self-guided thinker. Kaylee is excellent at critiquing artwork. She is always able to delve deep and really analyze different works and forms a very accurate judgment based on her analysis. Megan does a lot of critical thinking during our PE activities. She's always one step ahead of class. Thank you, Megan. Although Emma is quiet in class, you can always see that she is constantly thinking of ways to improve her math skills. She has really started to excel in her math work, and her critical thinking skills are helping her to be more successful with her math. Lyndon uses critical thinking on a daily basis in class. I can tell when a question is posed in class, he works it out and often comes up with the correct answer. When Tori is dialed into an activity, he is able to activate prior knowledge to a situation. He is able to use a structured approach when analyzing and solving a variety of problems. Thank you, Tori, for your contribution to the classroom's learning environment. Jomari has started to gather and assess pertinent information based either orally or written. She comes to well-reasoned conclusions and solutions quite effectively. Patrick is using his critical thinking skills recently to write a chord progression for a song. He has completed a progression for the introduction and the verse. His conversations with me on his process have revealed the depth of his thought process. Madeline is my critical thinker of the month. She is a problem solver every day, asking questions and trying to understand the bigger picture and how things fit and work together. Ms. Reen is always trying to make connections between what she has read to science activities in the classroom. Ms. Reed is a very bright and intelligent student. Braden's classmates nominated him because although he's quiet, he has great ideas in our small group. He made connections from the level of courts to actual court cases like the Nixon case. Braden related the appellate process to things we already knew so we could understand better. Aiden is very open-minded when it comes to issues in the class. He participates in tutorials and is able to ask questions that will help his classmates. He has self-confidence and is always willing to help. Haley was voted by her class as the best critical thinker in her class. She has learned how to analyze content by asking the right questions and then takes the time to reflect on understanding to make sure she understands the content and its implications. And these are 7th grade critical thinkers. Okay, 8th grade. Look to Ms. Randazzo and 7th grade family and friends. Feel free to come closer for a picture.
I know.
So it's the first day of the
Guys, last week.
Okay, here come the 8th graders. Okay, start us off, we have Matthew. Matthew is hardworking, diligent, and cooperative. He works tirelessly for 1 week on an argumentative essay in preparation for the FSA Write, critical thinking and revising his words several times before earning an A on this essay. Since then, Matthew earned the highest grade in his class of almost 30 on our most recent exam. Abby approaches her academics by looking at what is in front of her and carefully planning her next step. She is a great role model for thinking critically because she takes her time and deeply reflects on her learning. Antoine's ability to push his thoughts outside the box never ceases to amaze our first period. He always pushes his boundaries when in turn encourages the class to dig deeper and explore more meaningful issues. Nathan always thinks critically when presented with a task. He uses his skill to tackle all assignments given in class. His ability to think critically leads to his success in class. Aiden is always involved in class discussions, pushing the limit and of outside-the-box thinking. Zach is always engaged in class discussions. He sets the example when completing class activities and asks intuitive questions to increase his learning. Cami has a talent at trying to figure things out. While she may not always reach the right conclusion, she puts her brain forward and attacks the problem critically. IU is great at thinking through problems and applying previous learning to her current learning. She is able to complete this while being an ELL student as well. She is great at putting concepts together. Miranda is able to analyze and evaluate a situation, idea, or topic in order to objectively form an opinion. She is able to form her opinions respectfully and without a negative judgment of others. And these are our 8th grade critical thinkers. Eighth grade parents and family and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture. All right, we have a few more people to recognize, so I'm going to call Dr. Grantham back to the podium at this time.
Okay, students, we talked about how big of a deal it was for you, but let's talk about our teachers and staff here. I told you there were over 1,900 students here. We have almost 200 teachers and about 250 staff. There's a lot of teachers and staff here too. And for these, I see ladies, for these ladies to receive this award is a big deal for them too. So how we do it is we recognize someone a teacher from grades K1 and 2, which we call primary. Our intermediate teachers are grades 3, 4, 5. And then we have a middle school teacher, which is 6, 7, and 8. And then we recognize someone that's on our administrative team that helps us as we lead and make decisions at our school. So as we begin, our primary teacher, our recipient for critical thinking is Ms. Zapata. Ms. Zapata, will you please come? Ms. Zapata has truly embraced the notion of critical thinking. She has the ability to think clearly and rationally about what to do to meet the needs of her students. She is constantly engaging in reflective and independent thinking to improve her teaching and learning practices. She is not afraid to ask for help or try new things in her classroom for the betterment of her students. In addition to being a critical thinker, she is a hard worker, a great colleague to her teammates. She brings a new, reflective perspective to planning meetings. Thank you for your wonderful thoughts and ideas, Ms. Sabata. Our intermediate for grades 3, 4, and 5 is Ms. Sindelar. Have you ever wanted to have a conversation with Albert Einstein? Well, we don't have Albert Einstein here at TVKA, but we do have Ms. Sindelar, and that's pretty close. Critical thinking is quite compatible and thinking outside of the box, challenging consensus, and pursuing less popular approaches. If anything, critical thinking is an essential part of creativity because we need critical thinking to evaluate and improve our creative ideas. Ms. Sindelar does this on an everyday basis. She always has innovative ideas and new and fascinating ways to immerse her students into learning. Thank you to our very own creative genius and critical thinker, Ms. Sindelar. From our middle school, which is grades 6, 7, and 8, Ms. Gillis. Critical thinking is a mental process that skillfully and actively approaches information to reach an answer. This open-minded approach includes analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information to create new outcomes. This perfectly defines Ms. Gillis. Through every conversation and interaction, Ms. Gillis gains new insight, which often finds a place in her lessons. Ms. Gillis is always thinking, and she ensures that her students are too. Whether analyzing text or its nuances, or participating in an evidence-based classroom discussion, the students in Ms. Gillis' class are taught to think critically about their learning and life. Thank you, Ms. Gillis, for sharing your love for thinking and encouraging critical thinking in your students. And at our school, we have almost 20 on our leadership team. And from our leadership team, Ms. Randazzo. Ms. Randazzo approaches every problem with a clear and logical approach, which is a sign of a true critical thinker. She appropriately responds to new situations in a timely manner, often uses a creative twist to solve the problem. It is her ability to consider all the important factors of a situation, analyze the potential outcomes, and create a solution that clearly demonstrates her ability to think critically. Thank you for always keeping the leadership team moving forward with your critical thinking abilities, Ms. Randazzo. Students, parents, and family members, we thank you for coming. Now it's donut time, so we think you have a great Friday and a great weekend, everybody. Congratulations.